This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSSports.com, Big G TV, streaming video, and always at the game. The game. It's Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees. We'll take a look back at last week's big games and get you ready for the weekend ahead. Local prep sports, MTSU, UT, and Vandy football, the Titans, and much more. Now let's join the Primetime Sports team right here on WGNS and Big G TV.
All right, good evening. Clark Blair in the house. It is Thursday night, first show of the season. It must mean high school football is around the corner. Danny Brewer, Rod Edwards are here with us. It's hot, but we're playing ball tomorrow night, boys.
We're playing some football. You know, it should be expected. I like wearing shorts to a football game myself. I think that's pretty good. What about you, Rod?
I'm disappointed when they start putting the heavy stuff on. I like the air to blow.
Well, you better hope some air blows up tomorrow night in the press box at that game you're going to be at if it's hot.
It's going to be. Yeah, it will be hot.
so we're glad to be back. So it means school started. I'm busy. Dr. Automotive said he was busy today. Rod said he took a nap.
Well, one day we'll get there, Clark. One day.
One day. Every week, this show is brought to you by Ideas Tees. Ideas Tees is the place in Rutherford County for school spirit wear, screen printing, embroidery, specialty items, and more. If you haven't been to their new spot, they're at 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTS School off Memorial. You can also shop for officially licensed MTSU Blue Raider gear from Raider Tees. Tees, polos, hats, and more at their showroom. Ideas Tees can put your logo on just about anything. Stop by and see how they can help promote your favorite team, workplace, organization. Learn more at ideastees.com.
Since 1966, Fans Heating and Air has been a symbol of quality for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. For friendly, complete service on Amana, Bryant, or American Standard Heating and Air products, Fans Heating and Air will do it all. Fans specializes in new homes, custom homes, or existing buildings. Give Fans Heating and Air a call today, 615-893-7930. Good luck to all of our schools and student athletes from Fans Heating and Air.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. My team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. We've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
All right, we're back for our first segment on the first show of 2025. Let's talk about what we do on Thursday nights. We just talk a bunch about a little bit of everything, primarily high school sports. We want to focus on those because of all the things that we do. Speaking of, I've got to start with, did you know the boys won another award?
You know, I was going to mention that I'm really, really excited that I'm here with two studs like Clark Blair and Rod Edwards. But what's even more, what gets the juice flowing a little bit more is I'm part of a radio station with the award-winning John Dinkins and Brian Barrett. I give them guys a lot of credit because they're very dedicated. And they do a wonderful job. So they definitely are deserving. And, man, just to think that I can tag my name somewhere way, way down the list with John Dinkins and Brian Barrett makes me feel like somebody.
Well, I think now they've won it twice, we'll never see them. Rod will see them. We'll never see them because Rod will be with them tomorrow night. We talk, again, a lot of football, a lot of different sports. We try to cover everything for you guys. We just jump around a bunch. But again, the focus is high school sports. So we do fall sports shout-outs is what we're doing first of all. It's kids in other sports than football. So like volleyball, cross country starting up, girls soccer started up, and golf. Golf is going on. I mean, school just kicks off, Rod, and you jump straight into sports.
Oh, that's true. Especially right now, you got golf has already started. Seen the list in the paper. The scores and all. We got volleyball is going to be starting right away. Probably already started. You got girls soccer's already going, and so we're off and rolling. And this is what's exciting when you start getting the sports going, especially after you get into like the second, third game of the season. Then everybody gets in a groove, and you kind of know where you're at.
Absolutely. So, all right, a couple shout outs from me from Riverdale High School. Abby Zimmerman played volleyball on Wednesday, had 25 assists and 3 aces. And then over here at Central Magnet, Emery Bland had 22 kills, 5 aces, and 4 digs in a 3-0 win over Spring Hill. Congratulations to those ladies.
You know, I think 22 kills, wow. I mean, that's pretty amazing. How about Bailey Culpepper at Middle Tennessee Christian School? She had 27 assists and 10 digs along with a block in girls volleyball. 27 assists. She's dishing it out, baby. She's dishing it out. You know, another one that I want to say something about, let's roll over to soccer here. And how about Nori Akers with Siegel? 2 goals in a 3-2 comeback win over Gallatin. All right, Nori.
Good job, Nori. And I must say a little something about Nori. That's a McFadden Mustang for you.
Bam.
But so was
Bam.
So was Emery Bland. I didn't, I had Nori highlighted too, just like you did. But I was like, I can't do all McFadden Mustangs because they're all over the page here. So
we have to start watching them.
I can't be too biased.
Sure you can.
Okay, I've got kind of a review of last year of who's expected to be really good this year in volleyball. We had last year, Blackman ended up going to state. Riverdale won the district. I think Blackman then won the region and we ended up winning the region and sectional. Knocked off, I believe they knocked off Cleveland, which had been a thorn on our side the last couple of years. They've kept our teams from getting to state. And they have most of the team back. I mean, they are loaded. A 2-year starter, going to be attending next year at Appalachian State, is Molly Teague, and that name sounds familiar. You remember the great football player, Master Teague from Blackman, an Ohio State graduate. And in fact, he's actually part of a ministry team at Ohio State. You've heard about some of the revival they had and a lot of kids accepting Christ. He's been a big part of that. So he's really still continues to give back to where he belonged. But Molly Teague, another great athlete. Also, there's a sophomore quarterback for the hot football team. His last name's Teague, and I bet that's a little brother.
Lobby dog.
So it's kind of interesting. But Molly Teague, She's an outside hitter. She was the MVP of our area, our region. And then with her, the middle blocker, it was Anna Ray. And Anna Ray is going to Jacksonville State. I think that's in Alabama. And then they have, start 3 years, and then their setter and their libero both have been starting for 4 years. So, I mean, they're all seniors. This is the year that they want to try to make that big step and win the state title.
Well, good luck to those ladies and everybody competing. You mentioned golf a minute ago. I got to mention Braxton Head over at Blackman. Speaking of the Blaze again, shot a 69 at Cedar Crest. 69 at Cedar Crest. Turned around and shot a 71 at Old Fort. I do not want to play with that boy. I'll caddy, but I will not play with him. Lord of mercy, I never thought about shooting something like that. All right, and then girls golf, Eagleville, Jennifer Snell and her team went up to Coolville and won a golf tournament up there. Congratulations to them. 2 freshmen led the way, Anne-Marie Oliver and Aria Strickland. And finally, still talking about the Eagles out at Eagleville, they're breaking ground on a soccer field. So they usually co-op with Central, but they're going to try to start their own program. I bring this up because the young lady leading the program is a lady named Samantha Jackson.
Wow.
So that, if you don't know who Samantha Jackson is, she's Samantha Dinkins Jackson.
Yes, I think that she's had some good leadership in her bloodlines that are guiding her. And, I don't know how much Master Dinkins will be involved there, but at least he'll be a good guiding hand.
Yeah, I don't see John running down the field. Other side note there, Samantha's husband, Brett, is the head soccer coach at Rockville.
Oh, kind of warring areas there.
So, a lot of soccer talk there.
Had another one for baseball from my alumni from last year. The boys won state. Softball team from Eagleville also won state last year, but Brady Burns was the top player in the 1A, and he also, I think he went to Lincoln Memorial on a scholarship, but he was named all U.S. for small town baseball players for the whole nation. So that's quite an honor. We have one more, a graduate of Rockville 2 years ago, and that's Jacoby Tharp. He's a 110-meter hurtler. He's tried out for the Olympics. I think he got injured and he couldn't go on after the participate in the semifinals. But he just won just recently the U.S. Track and Field Outdoor Championship, and
wow.
He's going to Tokyo, Japan, to rep the U.S. in the World Championships.
Outstanding.
He's an Auburn student, and he'll be starting his junior year this year.
I won't hold that against him. Being at Auburn.
Not at all.
Since he's from here.
Because he's from here. That's exactly right. So, again, one of our big things we like to do, again, is not just recognize football players. We want to recognize all sports, young men and young ladies really excelling around Rutherford County. All right, we're going to jump to our pro sports time. Let's talk Titans just for a second. It's preseason. Nobody cares. The only thing they cares about is seeing what Cam Ward does. Well, he's not playing enough for anybody to even hardly notice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched the preseason game? I bet you say no.
Absolutely not.
Rod?
I have watched some, yes. And what I do think, though, what I see is a very comfortable quarterback. When you're that young, I don't want to see you jumpy and anxious, and he doesn't seem. He seems to be calm.
He needs to be jumpy instead of jumping around Jeffrey Simmons. He's going to get his head knocked off.
Yeah, he better learn where to, even though they hang around each other and big buddies, better watch it in the time of battle.
That little practice scrum, did you hear about that one?
Well, I think maybe, but I try not to watch the news much, just to be honest with you, and really don't, especially all the preseason stuff, all the hype. The thing about it is now sports, there's such a huge market for all this stuff that if somebody doesn't put their jockstrap on right, they want to make a story about it. Football's king around here. I understand that, but there's just, to me, they beat some of the stuff to death, and I just, not interested for me.
I'm excited to see how Cam does. Of course, Minnesota tomorrow night, last preseason game. We'll see how much he plays. 53-man roster has to be done by next week, so the Titans and all other NFL teams will be making a lot of cuts.
With them being the first one on the draft, when people are released, they get first choice. there may be a lot of changes even then.
A lot of changes. You're probably right, Rod.
Yeah,
Probably right.
absolutely right.
All right, let's talk baseball for a minute. And I wrote my notes. Do we care? Well, I don't. I'm a Reds fan. I got to hang on for the wild card. Rod, he's behind me in the wild card with his Cardinals. The good thing is Sonny Gray's pitching well.
He is, and we ought to be very proud of him. Outstanding young man, outstanding athlete. Took the football team in Smyrna to 2 state championships. He was the quarterback.
Now, what were you doing during that time?
I was writing for the Reporter, the Reader. I was writing for the Reader.
But
at
you
that
were
time,
still really
06.
involved in Smyrna sports at that time, weren't you?
Yeah, 06, 07. Had just my oldest son graduated in 04. I mean, I've covered Smyrna High School football since 1995 for the Reporter and the Reader and National Sports Weekly and just different people. So I've covered Smyrna High School athletics since like the mid 90s. So yes. Heavily involved as a journalist and as a booster too. I mean, I've been helping Smyrna High School swimming since the year 2000. So I've been involved over there as a booster and a supporter and all that kind of stuff since 2000. And I played back in the 80s and and all that kind of stuff. But I heavily involved over there. Coach Shad Owens and we grew up together. His dad's a father figure to me. All that kind of stuff. So was there front and center during those times. The one thing that I can say about Sonny Gray that I've said many, many times before, a winner. The kid is a winner. Well, we knew that when he was at Smyrna. We knew that when he was at Vanderbilt. And in the professional ranks, we've known that too. He knows how to work. He knows how to get things done. He's just a winner as a human being because Sonny comes back to Smyrna some. We saw him last year. Always, great. Little kids come around him. He's, as approachable as anybody you'd ever want to meet. He's just a down-to-earth kid that knows how to win.
Yep. He's 11-6 this year, but you were talking about he's got a lot of quality starts.
Right. I read a good article because I'm always checking on the Cardinals, what's happening, because we're in a change situation. We're going to be rebuilding. First time in about 30 years, so it's been a while since we've done that. But they had a report on him that he has started 26 games, and the Cardinals have been 18-6 in the games that he started. Or I guess it's 24. I mean, he had one more 25, so it was 18-7 then. And the only other pitcher that has won 18 of the games that the team has won 18 of the games they started this year is Kubal, who is the top pitcher at Detroit and is one of the best in baseball. So that's a high quality. But the article, though, they were talking to the players, the catcher, said he is so meticulous. Everything he does from one start to the next start he's doing everything for a reason. He's preparing himself and all. And he's also a great example for the kids. I know a lot of are saying that maybe they want to trade him, because it saves money and they can get some more young players. But to me, I think we need one player like that. This would be our Adam Wainwright, who was able to teach the others how to really be a professional pitcher.
Will there be any 20-game winners in the major leagues this year?
14 is the highest right now. So
okay.
Yeah,
and I just find that amazing. I know when was last? I mean, it's been a couple of years since, right? I mean, guys just don't pitch like they used to, because when you talk about Sonny having 25 starts, I mean, it used to be. I mean, when Denny McClain won 30 games, in one season, 30 games in one season,
right?
I mean, we'll never see that again, will we? Nobody even close to it.
Well, I heard a statistic on Bob Gibson. He had 80 more complete games than he had losses in his career. I mean, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah. When you want to talk about a warhorse now, Bob Gibson was. I mean, his ERA, his strike. I mean, everything. I mean, just a guy that flat dominated when he was on the hump. I mean, just flat dominated. And when you look at his statistics, what he did with the innings pitched and the complete games and the ERA and all that stuff, we're never going to see guys like that again. They may be throwing 95, 98 miles an hour, but they ain't going to pitch like Bob Gibson did.
No, I think that 1 year, was 68. I think his ERA was 1.12, and that year they lowered the mound then the next year. Okay, so you won't have as much dominance. So he had that kind of effect.
Oh, exactly. The Bob Gibson rule. You're right.
Yep. One more thought on Sonny, though. We talked when he became a free agent. what kind of contract would he sign? Who would pick him up? I think some people questioned about signing Sonny for the amount of money he got, but I think he's already proved his worth.
Yes, most definitely. And he's great for the team. I mean, they all respect him. And then look at his success. If you take away his win percentage, we're in trouble because we're still 2 under 500.
That's true. Well, we're going to take away for a minute and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
For 27 years, Kenneth Barrett has proudly served the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and now asks for your vote for sheriff. He started at age 20 as a detention officer, working his way up through patrol, narcotics, and interstate crime operations. He's led specialized teams while keeping transparency and fairness at the forefront. Kenneth Barrett for sheriff means proven leadership you can trust to keep our community safe.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They walk you through it. It's been my experience. What I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance are the leading experts in sports medicine and performance, and the team physicians for NFL, college, and high school athletes across Tennessee. TOA offers same-day appointments, walk-ins, and urgent care for acute orthopedic injuries that can't wait. TOA is proud to support Rutherford County high school athletes. Having a specialized care team you trust can make all the difference in your athletic journey. To find a TOA location near you, visit TOA.com.
Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
All right, let's transition over to college football for a minute. College football will dig in deeper next week. It really starts next weekend. The Vols, Nico's gone. Aguilar's the named quarterback. Predictions are varied. Again, there's a lot of question marks in our local teams. Vanderbilt, Pavia's back, but, he talks a lot of smack. That'll be a good game at the end of the season against Tennessee, I'm saying. MTSU, who knows? Who knows? Have you got a chance to talk to Coach Mason?
I haven't. I've reached out to him on a few occasions, haven't gotten any response. I hope to see them Monday. So I hope to see them Monday. So next week, hopefully I'll have a little bit more information. But I don't know, the thing about teams like MTSU, well, they're like a revolving door. And really all the teams now are revolving, but especially those schools, because when you get a good player, of course now I think MTSU does have an NIL budget, but before they really didn't have an NIL budget. So a kid goes there, he plays real well. Well, guess what he's doing the next year? He's gone somewhere, So it's one of those things where it makes it really tough on teams and schools like MTSU. But now that they do have an NIL budget, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for them to keep kids around. Now, by the same token, there's guys that are playing places that may not be playing. They're at places and they want to play, so you can get kids like that too. Right. So it works both ways.
Well, you mentioned NIL. There was an article yesterday about MTSU cutting back their uniforms to 2 to save money, right at $668,000 just by cutting back on uniforms, just a home and away. And they talked the reason why, Danny, what you mentioned was NIL money. trying to pull money and get money together to do that, to not lose so many players. MTSU brought in about 13 players, but lost just as many. Again, we'll get more into that topic next week. But yeah, MTSU's having to scrape together some funds.
Right, and they have to, because if you want to be competitive, you've got to. There's no two ways about it. If you want to be competitive and you want to get kids and keep kids, that's just the nature of the beast right now.
And then the one thing they have done, of course, they just opened up the new 3-story, 85,000 square foot Smith Athletic Performance Center. It's phase one of a $25 million private fundraising initiative for MTSU athletics. So MTSU's trying.
Right. And that should make a difference in recruiting or keeping somebody. I mean, we really haven't had top-notch facilities before in a long, never have, really.
No, we haven't, and that's one of the things that Coach Stockstill fought the whole time he was there for was for an indoor facility. So now they've got it. We'll see if it makes a difference. I think it can, for sure.
All right, let's turn the corner now to high school football, starting tomorrow night like we've talked about. First of all, I got to bring the big question up first. The region. I put the in big letters on my notes. Likes and dislikes. What likes do you have about our new region here in Rutherford County?
Home games and away games are real close together.
Money for the teams, too. I mean, you're going to be able to have good crowds.
Well, of course, you travel to Smyrna.
Right.
I travel to Riverdale. You know what my longest road trip is this year? Laverne.
There you go.
That's the longest road trip we'll be taking.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's good. But I think what Rod just said is what really makes it good is because more revenue for the teams and also a great environment to play in, because we all have been around this long enough to remember when those crowds, people are standing all around the fences 2 or 3 deep and the stands are full and just that excitement and the bands playing and it's all of that, man. That's what I love about high school football, and we don't have that as much anymore. But with this region, with all Rutherford County region, there's a much greater chance of all that kind of stuff happening. And that makes it special for the kids, because then 15 years from now, they may not remember exactly what happened, but they'll know, man, there was people everywhere and the crowd was big and, man, we did this and did that or whatever. And there are things that can happen where this may be Al Bundy-like sounding, but there's guys who will carry this torch for the rest of their lives because they scored the winning touchdown, or like the kid that caught the 2-tip pass for Riverdale when they beat Oakland a couple years ago. I mean, he'll remember that the rest of his life. He'll remember that the rest of his life, and that's good stuff.
All right, dislikes. Rod, you got a dislike?
Not really. No, I like it all the way around, and especially like Smyrna and Laverne. That's going to make a big difference in the funding and for the gate that they're going to get, because they were playing a lot of teams that didn't bring too many people.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the Antioch and the McGavick and the Cane Ridge didn't really bring much crowd. So yes, for your home games, it does make a big difference. I think it's a double-edged sword. Making the playoffs, much tougher now. If you make it, it means you earned it, and that's for all the schools, even Oakland and Riverdale and some of those perennial powers that you think is always going to be there. Still, if you make the playoffs, you have earned it, which makes you better prepared for that second season. The thing about it is you may be home for the holidays if you're some of the other teams, like Rockvale and Smyrna and Laverne and Siegel and all those. It'll be much tougher to make the playoffs, but it means you've earned it.
It does, and that's my dislike.
Right.
My dislike will occur when we get to November, and we're only going to have 4 of these 8 teams instead of sometimes having 7.
Right.
Or 8 teams to talk about in the playoffs.
And the thing is, we're not split either. We had some on the west, some on the east. We could have had both teams from Rutherford County make the championship, but again, we never did it. So I think all in all, this is better financially for the programs, and maybe it can help some keep their kids too.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Laverne for a second. They've got 7 home games. Good chance for them to put some money into football, and that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. The thing about Laverne is they don't have the same support as some of the other Rutherford County teams, and I'm not trying to throw rocks or hurt nobody's feelings. Facts are facts. Laverne people, you need to get behind your program a little bit better. Laverne alumni especially, you need to get behind your program a little bit better. They've got a new coach down there Hopefully he can breathe some life into the program, and they can get back to being competitive, because Laverne has had their days where they had some really, really good football players and some really, really good football teams. Donnie Lau played at Alabama. Mario Kelso, man, one of the best football players all around. Mario Kelso, man, he could flat do it. Rashad House, tremendous running back. I mean, they've had some really, really good teams. Will Hester, he was head coach down there at Laverne, and Will Hester's won a couple state championships, So they have had some good stuff happening down there. People need to get behind it.
We'll talk a little more about the Wolverines in a minute. Next topic of discussion there, of course, the TSAA talks about transfers. They've doubled the number of high school transfers this year, so everything's trickling down, coming down to the high schools. Coach Creasy, we'll talk about Oakland here in a second, talked about it. It's just NFL does it, and it gets to the colleges. It's just a matter of time before it gets to the high school. I'm still not crazy about that. And then let's talk rankings. It's early. Oakland is currently ranked, according to the Tennessean, number 2 in the state, behind Baylor, Chattanooga Baylor. Riverdale's listed at 13, and Blackman is at 25, according to those early preseason rankings. CPA, who Oakland plays tomorrow night here on WGNS, Big GTV, they're ranked 4th. So there's some strong teams that you'll be able to see, especially again tomorrow night over there with the Patriots. The other issue is, again, coming down from colleges, we're in an arms race, it sounds like. If you listen to the coaches show, well, what's new? I heard John said it, Brian said it, Danny said it. Oh, we got turf now. Now we're into jumbotrons. We're into our weight room facilities. All our schools talking about, building more and more. It's amazing.
Well, I think that's part of what you do to build your program is, we're a bling society. We're a microwavable bling society. We want to look good, and we want it right now. And the thing about it is, when you want to think about having kids coming up through the ranks, staying within your program, it's important to have nice stuff. Everybody wants nice stuff. We want the bling bling. And right now we got a lot of bling bling in this county. When you think about the facilities that we have with the turf fields, and the facilities over at Smyrna High School, the weight room, unbelievable for a high school, really unbelievable. But when you look at the jumbotrons, and Oakland's had a jumbotron of sorts for several years now.
Well, the Kreisky boys are both getting one this year.
Yeah, so you're right. So when you think about all that kind of stuff, it adds a lot. And then also to draw folks to the stands, you want to make it. We want to make it spectacle. One of the things about arena football that I always liked about arena football was it's sport, but it's also spectacle, and that's what the jumbotron brings. Is it brings a little bit of spectacle to it, because Mama may not she may not be interested in what's happening on 3rd and 1, but if she can look up there and see some kind of cool commercial or some kind of funky something to make her laugh, then that's good, and that's what we're doing, combining spectacle with the sport.
And then some of the schools got the flashing lights now too, where the lights change colors on and off.
Siegel, that's what Coach Renshaw said at Siegel. They've got that. So, yeah, it's good. Good
so
stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. All right, let's run down schools, talk just a little bit about each school. Rod, I'm going to let you start with Oakland. Coach Creasy, the program.
Okay. The program?
The program.
Been doing pretty good. I think 4 out of the 5 last years they have won the state title. So it's pretty consistent. They are not probably right now, they're looking at quarterback. It's a little iffy. They just don't know. They have 2 that they're going to bring out. One's a freshman, but they say he has an outstanding arm. They've lost some in their defensive line and the offensive line, and they're going to try to rebuild. From what I heard, someone told me that they saw them in the 7-on-7. Their linemen are pretty big, so they look like good linemen just looking at them. But you don't know at that time, so they're going to be right there again, I think.
Well, you mentioned a freshman quarterback. His name is Cam Morton, if you want to remember that name. Cam Morton. He was one of 2 8th grade Under Armour All-Americans selected from Tennessee this past year, and he will see the field, along as Coach Creasy said on the Coach Show, another freshman, which is highly unusual at Oakland. So if you're seeing the field as a freshman at Oakland, you're pretty dang good.
You are, and I've heard from some reliable sources, the one kid is probably as good as anybody that's walked over there as a freshman. So I think he's going to be the real deal.
And then, of course, they got the Wyatt kid from Webb, Webb canceling their season. I mean, there were two or three schools. Webb canceled their season.
Another one another private school in East Tennessee
canceled their season. So those poor kids had to shuffle and try to find places to play. So that kids at Oakland, I think Rockville got 2 or 3 kids from Webb. That's just not, if a transfer, which I'm not crazy about, that's the kind of kid, they deserve a chance to play.
Right. That's a whole different story.
They deserve a chance to play. All right, so Riverdale, Coach Kreisky, he's going to do what he does every year. They're going to rely on defense, offense, new quarterback. We'll see. He's a transfer. We're going to say that more than once tonight. They're going to be solid again defensively. Can they get the offense going? All new wide receivers, new running backs. And so Coach Kreisky talked Saturday in the coaches show, just looking for people to step up. But I think, when all's said and done, Riverdale's going to be Riverdale. They're going to be one of those teams fighting for those top 4 spots. What about the Smyrna Bulldogs?
Smyrna Bulldogs, I think they've lost some kids, but they've got a good group coming up. The kids, the freshman team that 2 years ago won the county are juniors this year, which that's good news for Smyrna. I think quarterback play is going to be improved for them. They've got dynamic defense. So I think that Smyrna has some good young talent. Injury will be the key for them. If they can keep players healthy, Jerry Martin, who is a man-child, he's had to miss the last 3 or 4 games last year because of a shoulder injury. But they can't afford to lose some of their primetime players because they don't have a lot of depth. But I think that Smyrna's got a chance to be pretty good this year.
Rod, what about the Siegel Stars?
Siegel Stars, they're looking to improve. They've got their quarterback back, Thornton, who look very solid. Strong-looking kid, about 6'2". Solid built, good arm. He stands in the pocket really well, so they got him back. Got a good tight end, a good receiving core. Got an offensive lineman who's only a junior, 6'7", 315, and everybody's looking at him.
Everybody's looking at him. Yeah, I saw that today too. So we're going to take another break. We're going to come back, run down the rest of the high school teams right after this.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Looking for the best Blue Raider gear in town? Raider Tees has you covered. From stylish apparel and hats to unique MT-themed gifts and accessories, we've got everything a true Blue Raider fan needs. Whether you're headed to the game, shopping for a fellow fan, or just want to show off your Middle Tennessee pride, Raider Tees is the go-to spot. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road right across from MTCS and check out our unbeatable selection. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
All right, we're jumping back into high school teams. The Rockville Rockets have a new coach in James Counts. All the coaches' shows are on WGNS Radio. You can listen to them on podcast. I listened to Coach Counts. What a cool guy from Henry County. Him and the Kreisky boys were friends. His dad's a longtime coach. He's got a lot of challenges at Rockville, a lot of new faces on offense and defense, a lot of growing pains they're going to go through this year. But he's a football guy, you can tell. And there's probably down the road there'll be good things happen with the Rockets in there. Danny, anything about Stewart's Creek after a great season?
Well, I think that the heat's on Coach Cardell a little bit as far as, because when you win, then you create expectations. Now I think he's doing a good job. He's got some skilled players coming back, but when you win, you create those expectations. And of course, I think expectations can be good, but still, it puts a little bit more pressure on you. But I think he's a guy that can handle it, and then they got some kids coming back, and I think they're going to be just fine.
All right. Other new coach in town is at Laverne, and it's Chris Johnson, a very local name that people should know.
Right, and so he's starting a team that last year didn't win a game. So they have a 12-game losing streak. But got to start somewhere, and it's going to start with the fundamentals, try to get the program going and keep it going. And I think being all county, it's going to be rough record-wise, but it's going to start bringing in and get people following the team, because there's going to be a big crowd from the other team coming in to visit you. You better show up.
Absolutely right.
Well, he's another football guy, just like I talked about Counts on his talk Saturday. He said, because you mentioned facilities, Laverne could use an upgrade, and they could, but he said, you know what, my 45-pound rusty weight is the same as a 45 brand new shiny weight.
Right.
We got to lift it and we got to move it. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
So I don't want to hear any excuses from the kids about we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, we got to get out on the field and do it.
That's right.
So,
that's exactly right.
And that's what way to take it. That hey, what we got, we're going to use, but you got to work hard at it.
That's right. How about the Blackman Blaze and the other Coach Kreisky?
I think the other Coach Kreisky is he's probably going to be full of something and some vinegar this year, because that's how those Kreisky boys are. Blackman, they've got a lot of talent over there. I think that they've developed a youth program over there, and that youth program has been feeding. And the middle school has been pretty doggone good. And I think that they've just got this momentum building over there. And I think that they're going to be good. They were within a whisker of beating Oakland last year. And, like I said, they had a good season last year. So I think that, yes, Blackman will be someone to be wary of, because I think that they're going to they got good support over there. And like I said, I think Kreisky's doing a good job.
Well, they're ranked 25th in the state, in the preseason. And that's all classifications, private and everybody. So, yeah, they've got some good players. Going over to Eagleville, Coach Walker. Floyd always surprises me. He started out slow last year. He's got a young bunch this year. But, knowing Coach, he'll get them worked into shape. Their district's a lot different. They don't have as many district games, so they start out their first 4 games are non-district, so he'll figure out his team, figure out what they can do. And I know by the time they get to district play, he'll have those Eagles ready to go. Danny, you interviewed Coach Peterson talking about MTCS.
The challenge that Coach Peterson is going to have is they're going to be road warriors. They play at home, I think, the first 3 weeks, and they're still looking. They've only got 9 games because of what you talked about with Webb. And there was another school that the name escapes me at the moment that has backed out of their schedule too. So they filled one of those, but they're going to North Carolina and they're going to Memphis area and all this stuff to try to get these games. So they're traveling all over the place. And some of their Johnson City. I think in back-to-back weeks they play at Johnson City and then play at North Carolina, somewhere in North Carolina. So Road Warriors are going to be the theme for MTCS. They're going to be pretty good because a lot of those kids, they took their lumps last year with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Well, guess what? Those freshmen and sophomores are juniors and seniors, or excuse me, or sophomores and juniors this year. So that's going to be good for them. So I think he's got some talent, and he's got some experience now. So that when you've got both of those, as you know, then it factors in, and he's got a little bit of depth too. So that's good. So all things are good happening over at MTCS. Plus new turf field. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
Our final school in Rutherford County talking about, of course, right down the road across from Middle Tennessee Christian. Big rivals, PCA.
Yes, PCA. This the youngest school in the whole county. This is their, I guess, their 4th year, I believe.
That sounds about right. Coach Ferguson, yeah.
Right, and you have a lot of kids that have been playing for 4 years. So they're going to be a solid team. They really surprised people last year. Got an outstanding Burkhofer, a middle linebacker that I've seen for years the number of tackles he's had, and he's still there. At linebacker as a senior, and so you've got a solid program, good coach, and they've made a lot of improvements over the last 3 years.
Exactly. All right, so let's go to matchups. We're playing tomorrow night. Let's talk matchups. We're also going to talk about pigskin picks. So me and the boys, along with John Dinkins and award-winning Brian Barrett, we do pigskin picks. I'm the commissioner by default, not by choice. I was corrected by the Supreme Leader. He's won 5 years in a row. Y'all realize it's been 5 years in a row?
I'm glad that he said that.
He's been, I can remember, I feel
it
like.
means he's ready for a fall.
I feel like, he
Pride cometh before
he
a
was
fall.
belly aching because he couldn't win. Now he's won 5 times in a row. 5 times in a row. We've also brought in reinforcements. Bill Hockenberry, who's also part of the WGNS team on Friday night, he's joined us to pick. Picks are just for fun. We try not to get in trouble. We try to support our teams, but we got to knock Brian off. Even if we have to go against, if I have to go against Riverdale, and you may have to go against Smyrna, because we got to knock Brian off because it's time. It's just time. So again, it's just fun. I did get in trouble once last year because I picked against Riverdale, but I thought they would lose, and boy, I heard about it.
I'm sure you did.
But you don't have. I'm trying to win.
You don't have a chance to win then, unless
know.
Riverdale goes undefeated.
Well, I picked against them, and it's a season. Coach Krosky, Tamara Blair. No offense, I'm trying to win pigskin picks first. All right, big game tomorrow night. Obviously, WGNS game, CPA here at Oakland. CPA's loaded. I mean, they're the game of 2-time defending champs against them. They both won last year. It's at Oakland. How big of a difference is that going to make?
I don't think the venue really matters a whole lot. CPA, is it grass field or it's CPA? Is it a grass field?
Well, they're here at home in Oakland.
Oh, right. I know, but that's what I'm asking. Does CPA play on a grass field?
I would doubt it. I would imagine that.
But that would be the only advantage I would see is if they're not used to playing on turf. But I don't think the venue matters at all. I think it just boils down to blocking and tackling and catching passes and not fumbling.
Well, it should be a good matchup between not just CPA and Oakland, but running back for CPA Patterson.
Yes.
And then, of course, they're going to hand the ball to Craig Tutt a lot. The Ole Miss, he's picking Ole Miss. No offense to him. He's going to Ole Miss. Good for him. And
right now he's going to Ole Miss. We don't know. Things can change.
Things can change. That's true.
One thing you're going to find with CPA is that they're going to have a tough line. They're usually
always.
A lot of times they look like a small college team.
Oh, without question, yeah. No doubt about that.
We know
I was looking. I wonder if one of the Pattersons are still there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have one that's graduated from Vanderbilt, one still playing at Vanderbilt, right. And there's another Patterson. There he is, senior year.
Yep. And of course, again, it'll be the first game for the Wyatt kid who's going to Tennessee, the transfer from Webb, to see how he does at this level. Everybody went with Oakland, except for me. I picked the upset of CPA. Knoxville Catholic is coming to Riverdale. That's an interesting game because
Coach Philip Chad Owens, is the head football coach at Knoxville Catholic. He's won over 200 football games. He was the first coach at a public school to win the state championship at the highest level in back-to-back years, Smyrna High School.
And he's got a stud at wide receiver going to the University of Tennessee, Tyreek King. So they'll get the ball in his hands a lot, which will be a big, tough thing for the Riverdale Warrior defense. And of course, Riverdale starting Ravenwood transfer quarterback Gavin Hampton, and they have a Loretto transfer wide receiver in Corbin Reynolds. So Riverdale's got to get their offense together. We mentioned earlier, we all went with Riverdale except for Danny. He's pulling the upset there. Blackman is on the road to start their season going to Clarksville. We all went with Blackman. We think, again, they've got the talent to do that. Rockville transfer. Here I go. It's just like I feel like I'm talking like college when they talk transfer. Rockville transfer, Javion Elliott will lead the offense for them at quarterback. And so, again, a lot of good athletes there. Centennial at Stewart's Creek. Danny just mentioned there's a lot of pressure on Stewart's Creek, not because there's a problem, it's because they played really well last year.
Yeah, just success. I mean, like I said, success brings expectations. Winning breeds winning. You know, when you have success, people expect, they think it's easy. You know, you win 10 games and you do all this stuff and you make it to the third round of the playoffs. Oh, it's going to be easy. It's never easy. Trust me, it's never easy.
It's not easy, and we split on that one too. Rod went with Centennial on that one, and so the rest of us went with Stewart's Creek being at home. Other games, PCA at Eagleville. We talked about the Eagles. That's the biggest toss-up we had. 3 of us went with Eagleville. 3 people went with PCA. It's that first game, unsure what we're going to get out of each team. Eagleville scrimmaged earlier and struggled a little bit with Cannon County, which is they're not a bad 2A team at all. And so, you know, the question marks, that's what this game's about.
Completely about the question marks. You know, the thing about 1A football is things can turn so quickly because, and not to discredit 1A football, because I think football at any level in high school is good, but with 1A football, you can have a couple players and you can win a whole bunch of games. If you're at the 6A level, you got to have more than a couple players. But if you can have a couple of guys who get hot and do their job, then you can win a lot of games with not as many players at the 1A and the 2A levels.
Siegel, who needs to get off to a good start on the road at Cookeville, not an easy matchup for the Stars.
No, it isn't. Cookeville has been pretty solid the last couple of years. It's going to be a big test, and it's at Cookeville, which is a little different place to play. But they do have the talent this year to pull off that kind of win.
Well, I think they do, you know, but road games are never easy. But, you know, I think that Renshaw has got that program headed in the right direction.
As far as picks, we all went with Cookeville, but hopefully we're all wrong on that one. We're okay being wrong when a local team wins. It's kind of like the Smyrna at Brentwood matchup. It's a matchup of last year's playoff game, and we know how solid Brentwood is.
Brentwood is always very good fundamentally. They do not make a lot of mistakes. They don't beat themselves. That's just been the staple of their program for many, many, many years since our old buddy Ron Crawford was there coaching. They won a state championship, but they're always solid fundamentally. So Smyrna can't go in there and make mistakes. If they don't make mistakes, I think they got a good shot to win. Brentwood lost quite a few players. Of course, they just have reloaded. So we'll see how it rolls.
We all went with the Bruins, except for Danny. He's going to stay with his Bulldogs on that pick. Independence at Rockville. Tough matchup for the new coach and the Rockets. They are coming here, so that's a good thing, Rod. But Independence is always a strong team as well.
Independence has got their old coach back, who had the spread, the really elite passing game. So it's going to be a different Independence than it's been the last couple of years.
Well, Mr. Barrett went with Rockville. The rest of us went with Independence on that one. Franklin at Laverne. You mentioned trying to snap that 12-game losing streak. First game for Coach Johnson. Again, Franklin's kind of like the other teams in Wisdom County. Always very solid, very good fundamental team.
Absolutely right. And, it's one of those things where that's a tough matchup for them. Of course, good news is it's at home. But, yeah, when you talk about fundamentals, that's what Williamson County football is.
All of us went with Franklin on that one. Ezo Harding at Middle Tennessee Christian. Back in the day, Ezo Harding was a really, really good football program. Mm-hmm. They've not produced lately, so I think starting for the Christian school tomorrow night, it's a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, in fact, Ezo Harding didn't have football for a couple of years, and they just brought it back, and they have not done well since they brought it back.
Now they were at 8-man football there for a little bit, and now they've got enough enrollment that they feel like they could play 11-man football again.
Yeah. So a good pick there for all of us. We went with Middle Tennessee Christian on that one. So that's your list of games tomorrow night. Again, get out, support your local teams, find a game to go to. It's not supposed to be too hot tomorrow night.
No.
As compared to what it has been. Again, if you can't get out, All you got to do is flip on Big G TV or WGNS Radio and listen to John and Brian calling that Oakland and CPA game. If you want to get some updates about Riverdale, me and Danny are going to be there. Danny's going to be giving updates on the game, and you might get a chance to talk to Coach Shad a little bit, see how he's doing. You know, it'd be a good reunion for you, but I always thought a lot of Coach Shad myself. All right, when we come back, we're going to put a wrap on this first show of the season.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card? Remodeling your kitchen? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. Let's work together to come up with a plan to make those savings goals happen. Call me at 615-459-2683.
With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive.
Our sandwiches are very popular. Our pork and our chicken are probably most popular pulled meats. We have spare ribs. They're delicious. They fall off the bone good. We don't put sauce all over our meat.
And that's so you can choose mild or hot sauce or their signature white sauce.
White sauce is our special kind of secret sauce. It's delicious. It's kind of got a kick to it, but it's not too spicy.
Barbecue smoked chicken, ribs, loaded baked potatoes. Check out Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
All right, let's put a wrap on this by reminding you of everything going on this weekend on WGNS Radio and Big G TV. They're officially back for Friday Night Lights, celebrating their 79th season of high school sports coverage with the launch of the 2025 State Farm Prep football schedule, which if you go find WGNSradio.com, you can see the schedule again tomorrow night, CPA in Oakland. Brian Barrett and John Dinkins continue their on-air partnership for their 23rd season of football play-by-play on an impressive 28-year working relationship of local sports for Rutherford County. They'll be joined by Rod Edwards and Bill Hockenberry, who begin their second season, Bill does, with the broadcast crew. And then, of course, Danny and I will be to deliver live reports from other games throughout Rutherford County all season long, keeping you abreast of everything in high school sports. There's also a scoreboard on WGNSradio.com if you want to check that out. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, it's the Friday Night Thunder pregame show. At 6:30, they'll start kicking off the local show, talking about Oakland and CPA, and then the scoreboard later that evening. This weekend, catch the Coaches Show on Saturday. It starts at 9 o'clock. You can listen to Coach Kreisky from Riverdale, followed by Smyrna Blackman, Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockville, Siegel, Eagleville, and finally with MTCS Cougar Corner. You can pick it up also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, iHeart. Search for WGNS Radio, and you promise you can find information in sports somewhere. There's also Braves at Mets this weekend. Do you care, Rod?
No.
Who
are the Cardinals playing?
Who the Cardinals playing? Well, the Braves could beat the Mets. That wouldn't hurt you too bad,
No,
right?
but you got to beat the Mets.
That would help you out a little
And
bit.
if your Cincinnati team would kind of
I'd be
falter.
happy for Cincinnati if the Braves would win, but man, the Braves are
Well, we're still going to lose probably.
Yeah. Well, what's more important is it's Travers Day at Saratoga. So that's the big news for Saturday.
We skipped the horse segment. I'm so sorry.
That's
we
okay,
did.
man.
I got to
can
run
get
it
in
on football.
We can get in right now. Travers Day, 6th grade stakes races at Saratoga. The Travers is the oldest stakes race for 3-year-olds in the country. Sovereignty, the Derby, and Belmont Stakes winners running. It's only a 5-horse field, so he should reign, but you never know. Saratoga, graveyard for favorites. So we don't know what's going to happen there because it's a horse race. But the 4-go, flat-loaded 11-horse field, man, book 'em Dano. That's who we're liking in that one. In the 4-go is book 'em Dano. So there you go. Got a hunch, bet a bunch. Hey, back a horse and get paid, Clark.
All right. I need some money anyway. And then, of course, if you're into walking horses, head down to Shelbyville. That stuff's starting to head out.
The celebration's
going on. We'll see you back next Thursday night.